What up, guys? It's the Dark Mike, Anthony Montano, and I just wanted to put out this video today because I was on social media on Instagram the other day on just scrolling through, and an account that I follow, Promo God 33, he had put out a video talking about royalties generated overseas that artists miss out on. He primarily caters to a demographic of like independent artists and giving them some useful information to help them further their careers. So it's a great account. I recommend checking it out. But when he had posted that video, there's a lot of people asking questions in the comments about how you go about registering to make sure that you don't miss out on any royalties to the black box. And that's essentially an industry term. The black box, it refers to basically just royalties that are lost in the abyss because nobody has claimed them. And so it's just money you left on the table, basically. So in the comments, I tried to answer some of the questions to the best of my knowledge. Bear in mind, and a disclaimer for this video as well, that I am not an attorney. I'm not providing legal advice in any kind of way, shape, or form. These are just basic things that I've learned in my own journey as a musical artist, as an independent musical artist, I should say. So just do what you will with that information. And I always highly encourage everyone to exercise caution and make sure that you do your due diligence when you're going about doing anything with your music rights, whether you're setting up publishing, whether you're going through your distribution, anything like that, copyrights, etc. So without further ado, let's jump into it real quick and I'll give you guys a quick breakdown. All right, let's get started. So before we get into all the specifics, we need to make sure that we understand what a PRO is. Now, I apologize to some of you if this is stuff that you already know, but I really wanted to cater to the questions that I was being asked on that post. So I wanted to make sure to cover all the basics. Now, performing rights organization, they just essentially collect the royalties on behalf of the songwriters and the publishers. So a publisher is going to be another key term that you're going to want to familiarize yourself with, because a PRO is not your publisher. Those are two different things. Now, of course, you guys are probably already familiar with the fact that royalties are just the money that you make whenever your song is used. So you have your mechanical royalties, you have your performance royalties, you have your print music, and then you have your sync royalties. Those are the main types of royalties. Now, the two primary ones that most people are familiar with already are going to be your mechanical royalties and your performance royalties. And then I'd say your sync royalties are probably a close third as far as what people are familiar with. So to break that down further, your mechanical royalties, those are generated whenever someone streams or downloads any given song. These royalties, of course, are collected by publishers and the publishing admins, but these are not collected by your PRO, your performing rights organization. That's not what your PRO collects. These are still important, though, because these can still be lost to the black box if they're not being collected upon. Now, your performance royalties, these are going to be what are generated whenever your song is played on the radio, TV, whenever your song is publicly performed, like at a concert. And of course, these royalties are the ones that are actually collected and administered by your PRO. These royalties actually get split between you and your publisher, your publishing administrator. So with a lot of indie artists and indie distributors that cater to indie artists, you can actually go through and set up or accept an agreement to allow that distributor to be your publisher for any given release. And so what that's essentially going to do is that's going to give them the permission to sync up everything with your performing rights organization to make sure that you get paid out on these performance royalties. Now the black box royalties. So this is what you heard me mention at the beginning of the video, and really what this entire video is in response to a post that was about that. So your black box royalties, those are a collection of royalties where the rights holders couldn't be located, or they couldn't be paid out for one reason or another. The thing with black box royalties is that, excuse me. The thing with black box royalties is that they're typically forfeit after a certain period of time. It's somewhere in the range between 6 to 18 months. It can vary. So the black box royalties, these can even include things as simple as you didn't keep your information up to date. They don't have your payout information, and they don't have your up-to-date address. So no one's claiming your money. So after that set period of time, you're going to lose it. So now that we understand the reason why you want to make sure that you're collecting on your royalties and not losing out on that money, let's look at the PROs that are available here in the United States. In the US, most artists in the US are going to register with either BMI or ASCAP. ASCAP charges a $50 fee. I know that because that's who I registered with. Now, BMI is free to my knowledge, but I hear that they charge other fees. I think that you can register as your own publisher with BMI, and it's like a $150, $250 fee or something like that. I'm not sure. I don't know if there's any kind of annual or quarterly fees that they charge or anything like that. But it's just, I recommend to do your own research if you're considering one over the other. I just went with ASCAP because at the time that was just the right choice for me. Now, if you're in a country besides the US, there's going to be a different performing rights organization for you. It's going to vary by every territory. So I would recommend do a Google search and just look up performing rights organizations for music artists in my country or in my territory, whatever the case may be. Just find the one that is right for you. And I'm sure that the rules, regulations, and laws, they all probably differ from territory to territory. So just make sure to do your reading. I can't really give much insight on those because I'm a US-based independent artist. All right, now let's look at how a PRO helps you. So they collect the performance royalties in your country or your territory. The great thing about this, and this is where some people panic, saying, I had this question come up on that post a lot. People were saying, oh, what if I'm in the UK and I want to collect royalties from my song streams or my song plays in the US, performances in the US, etc. The thing with the PROs, most of them have what's called a reciprocal agreement. So using ASCAP as an example, ASCAP has a reciprocal agreement with the PROs in, for example, the UK. And that means that if my song is being performed in the UK, ASCAP's going to actually collect that for me from their performance organizations, their performance rights organizations. So yeah, that's the nice thing about a lot of these. Now, again, it might vary from territory to territory. Perhaps some situations where the copyright laws differ and things like that, those countries might not have reciprocal agreements with the US. But again, using ASCAP as the example, and this goes the same, my understanding, the same is true for like a UK-based artist who's registered with the PRO in the UK, is that ASCAP will collect the money here in the US and they will send it to your PRO there in the UK where you live and operate out of. So that way you can collect your money. So a PRO really does help simplify the process in that sense. It's especially if they have that reciprocal agreement across territories. Now, once you're registered with PRO, your distributor is going to work with PRO to basically sync everything up and make sure that you get paid on those performance royalties. Now, this might differ between distributors. I personally use CD Baby. CD Baby, essentially what they do is they gather my info that I put in for each release, whether it's one song or a full album, whatever the case may be. But CD Baby basically is able to use my personal information and connect that with my ASCAP profile, my member ID. And then after they link everything up, while it's in submission pending status, basically what CD Baby is doing is they're getting all the paperwork, so to speak, ready behind the scenes. And they're preparing everything and making sure that my royalties are in place, or making sure that my release is set for distribution with the major providers, the streaming providers that I've selected. Make sure it's set for sync licensing if I wanted that selected. And they'll post it to YouTube, things like that. But the PRO process specifically, yes, they take care of that for me on the back end, since I am registered with ASCAP and I have a member ID with them. So it's pretty nice. It's pretty straightforward. And then I get paid, obviously. All right, guys. So hopefully after that, you guys can see that it really is not that complicated. You guys could see that I was able to pretty much cover the broad strokes with a 7 or 8 page PowerPoint presentation there that I threw together in a matter of about an hour. I know what I feel is what gets most people hung up is all the different terms that get thrown around. Because I know you're probably hearing things like, oh, mechanical royalties, your performance royalties, your publishing, your distributor, your performance rights organization, all those terms getting thrown around all at once. That part, I think, gets a little bit confusing. But just remember this, try to simplify it down to this. Register with your performing rights organization, whoever that is in your country. For me in the United States, that's ASCAP. You can go with BMI if you're in the United States as well. Once you register with that performance rights organization, you're going to set up your release, whatever distribution platform you use, CD Baby, TuneCore, DistroKid, whatever. Set up your release like normal, and then look for that option where they offer to be your publisher or some kind of publishing administration agreement. When you select that, they'll do the rest with ASCAP BMI. They're going to already link everything up for you as they prepare your release, so they can collect those performance royalties for you. On the mechanical side, that again is pretty much automated with what you're already doing with that release process. So you don't even really need to worry about anything separate for the mechanical royalties. That's going to be what you generate from Spotify, Apple Music, and those types of things. So it really is straightforward. Register with your pro, set up your release, and then collect your royalties. So let's get out there. Let's support each other as independent artists. Let's go throw a simple like on Instagram on each other's posts. Let's go stream that new song for our peer just to give them a bump in their plays. Let's like and subscribe to each other's YouTube channels, things like that. Let's just support each other. Let's go out there, spread some love and positivity. And on that note, of course, if you enjoyed this video, please do like and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram, Dark Mike Music. All that information is going to be in the comments below, so that you can check it out. And if enough people enjoy these videos, I will keep making informational videos like this. I actually did enjoy this, and I want to be able to spread the knowledge that I learned to others. So please like, subscribe, and hopefully we'll see you out there. Dark Mike out.